Sandeep Shastri, do you agree with that? That we have seen the most formidable election machine in the history of post-independence India, which has in a way captured the system. We can see that in negative terms. We can also see it as perhaps an example of power is politics. Rahul Gandhi says power is poison. The BJP will say power is politics.
Rajdeep, while agreeing with that sentiment, I would go back to the question you phrased. I think the moment you say "Kaun banega challenger," the opposition has lost the battle. Yes. Because that is what the BJP would like the narrative to be. That who is the challenger to the Prime Minister? Alternatively, it should be a fight on issues, a fight on policies, a fight on alternatives, and not a positing of who is the alternative leader. Now, if the opposition were to focus on "Kaun banega challenger," I think the battle has been lost even before it has begun. It has to be a fight on issues, it has to be a fight on alternatives, and as Yogenji said, 28 states represent 28 different electoral battles. This time, the real fight, as I see it, would be in West India, East India, and the South of India. And how the BJP does in these three regions will be critical. How do the non-BJP parties in these regions do will be critical, and that, I think, will decide the way the 2024 election will go.
Interesting the way you're putting it, that the battle in a sense will be fought state-wise. I know even before 2019 I heard this, we will fight 543 separate elections against the BJP. That didn't happen. There was a virtual wave, a Modi wave, a post-Balakot wave, whichever way you see it. But Yogendra Yadav, therefore, what can change between now and 2024? I remember in December 2018, when the Congress did well in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, there was a sense the BJP was vulnerable. 5 months later, the BJP swept all these states as well. So what can change between now and 2024 to, in a way, change my original question? Is it a done deal for Mr. Modi that he will have a hat-trick?
Rajdeep, a lot is already changing. The question is about converting them into electoral gains for the opposition. Mr. Modi's government is increasingly seen to be ahankari, very arrogant. That never goes down well with the Indian people. The economy is in a very, very bad shape. Yes, the beneficiaries remember the LPG cylinder that they got. Yes, the beneficiaries remember the 5 kg ration that they got, but they also remember the jobs they lost. They also remember the person who died in their family without oxygen. The real situation is that we are looking at an economy, everyday condition of the people, which is very, very bad. The real question is, can the opposition translate that into politics?
No, but you said that, Yogendra ji, with due regard to some extent even before Uttar Pradesh. And look what happened. So clearly someone is missing something that is happening on the ground. That while we say that the economy is struggling, while we say look what happened, how was COVID management, particularly the second wave, the BJP either is able to course correct effectively or has built a certain emotional connect that Mr. Modi as leader in particular has done that transcends conventional political logic.
Rajdeep, there's no difference between what we are saying. I completely agree. The situation is bad, but things being bad automatically does not translate into electoral defeat for the ruling party. And I actually agree with Mr. Nalin Kohli that if the opposition is waiting for Mr. Modi and the BJP to, go get run out or hit wicket, they could wait for another 20 years. That's not going to happen. The opposition has to do something. And to my mind, and I have a slightly different reading or probably a different emphasis from Professor Shastri, I think the name of the game is, can BJP be checked even partially in this northwestern Indian heartland, in the heartland with UP plus Gujarat minus Bihar? That to my mind is the real challenge. Out of these 200 seats or so, can BJP be restricted to 125? And for that, the revival of the Congress being able to take on the BJP is absolutely vital. That would require the opposition, Congress in particular, to appear to be more credible than it appears in the eyes of the people today. This, to my mind, is the most critical piece of 2024.